Peace Collective, Mama Rain here. I'm coming to you guys today with beautiful messages and insights from the divine. Right now, the collective as a whole, this particular collective, is going through immense throat chakra upgrades. Now, if you've been with me, you know that I've been talking about rebirth, being at ground zero. And before I get into the throat chakra upgrades, let's talk about this rebirth and how you are in this very soft place within your life. Divine feminines, and I don't even want to say divine masculines. You may be drawn to the color light blue, light pink, just soft pastel colors, okay? And the reason why you're drawn to these soft pastel colors is because your consciousness is in a very sensitive place. And in this sensitive place, you are learning to be soft, probably for the first time in your life. Because the world, to the old and prior version of self, was not kind. It did not allow you to be soft, but now you can be soft. You can be reborn. You have been reborn in the essence of who you truly are. Now, I look at this journey and this beautiful spiritual journey that the divine has us all on, and specifically my own, as wonderful, and it has its challenges. Now, in this rebirth process, a lot of people talk about destination, destiny, your soul's purpose. I like to call it onoka, as the divine, the elders have given me. With that being stated, we don't just get to our destiny. We don't leave the old life behind, the old self, the old version of self behind, and automatically blossom and bloom into this new version of existence. And I think a lot of people have this false misconception that we do, and we don't. It's in this rebirth. So first and foremost, we go through the process of clearing out the degradation, right? You have to come back into the helm, right? The driver's seat of your life. Your consciousness has to be operating this vessel that you are currently in. Okay, instead of other energies trying to use you as a host. Okay, and before you get to your consciousness operating this vessel fully, there's usually a war that's going on within. You have, the divine and opposition fighting for your soul. And which side you are going to is still yet to be seen. And when you finally make the choice, to align with divinity, and you consciously do the work, there's still that war for your soul and for your life, because opposition can be very intense. Opposition isn't trying to lose you, because you are a light source, and they're going to try to feed on you continuously. There's a gang stalking kind of energy where they pummel you and pummel you and pummel you, because they want to take everything that you have, your essence and food. They want to see you depleted. Okay? Now, this is all leading to the throat chakra upgrades that are happening on a collective spectrum, and I'm so excited to speak about that. But we have to honor and speak on the journey beforehand. And as you're dealing with the dark nights of the soul, right? Your shadows, oppositional forces, parasitic energies that are trying to take you over. This is a journey that can take years. So, like I said in the beginning, you don't just get out of that battle and all of a sudden become this ideal version of self. Now, you are crafting your ideal version of self, and you are taking steps to implement the ideal version of self. But when your rebirth happens, the way the divine has shown it to me, it's like a baby. They just kind of show me a baby, when they kind of yawn and stretch out their hand, they're in this kind of chrysalis, wrapped up in kind of like this cocoon, right? And I don't want to say cocoon because that's like a butterfly, right? The transmutation process. This is more like when a baby's swaddled. And so a baby's very delicate, and you're holding this child, you're holding this new version of self, which is beautiful. This new version of self, it's a ray of sunshine, and it's learning to rest as soon as you come out the womb. So this rebirth that happens, your eyes are closed, you can't see clearly. Oh my God. And this is leading to third eye upgrades to collective. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Sorry, I just get so excited when they give me information. So the child can't see clearly. The child can, at first everything's blurry. And, in order for it to see the mother, the child, has to have the mother up close to the face. And then the child is learning to use his voice, right? When it's hungry, it cries out. When it needs a diaper change, it cries out. When it wants that warmth and that comfort, it cries out. And this is why collective, for those of you that I'm tapping into this rebirth energy, into it, and this is part of the collective that I'm tapped into with as well, because I am going through this in a very immense way. You're enjoying the energy of, they're telling me, the divine mother. See, a lot of you were born to karmic parents. And so you weren't really nurtured correctly. And thank you so much, because in a way, they've never told me divine mother before. I thought I was kind of nurturing myself with a divine, but that makes sense. The sacred waters where we are truly from. And so the divine mother is nurturing you right now. And so you're crying out to the divine mother. When you're saying, hey, this isn't good enough. My situation isn't good enough. I need more. Now you're learning to use your voice. And in learning to use your voice, I don't want to sit here and say the divine mother, but the divine, the cosmos, the universe, your higher self is testing you. And are you going to use your voice when it's necessary? So I'm going to sit here and tell this story of an experience as an example. So I'm in this homeless shelter because this is where my journey has led me to. And I met this vet who needed some spiritual assistance and guidance and some help because of parasitic energies. And of course, I gave it because I love what I do. And there was no romantic interest on my part, okay, at all. Nor did I ever mislead this individual. This individual has the audacity to text me and ask me if I was born a woman. And I was like, I'm not going to answer this. Because first and foremost, I'm going to let y'all know I am all woman. I am exactly as the Creator made me. There's no mistakes with me and with any of you as well too. The Creator made you exactly how you were meant to be. So I said, and he asked me to not be offended, and I said, I'm not offended. And I answered pretty crude and, I'll say it nicely. I said, do I look like I was born with male parts? And he said, no. But nowadays you can't tell with cosmetic surgery unless you see someone's birth certificate or ID. I never told this person I had cosmetic surgery. First of all, that's nobody's business. Okay? My life and what goes on in my life and what goes on in the life of anyone else is no one's business. He then proceeded to state that in a text message that he's a man and he's interested in women and that he can't mess with me anymore. He can't, hang out with me anymore. I said, okay. I said, sounds good to me. First and foremost, I had let this man know that I was happily unavailable. I have met the other half of my soul, my reflection, and he is no longer here. And I am not interested in meeting anyone else for the rest of my life, period. And I also told him about experiences that I had with giving birth to children. And so, if he had consciously paid attention, he would have known the answer. Now, something else happened when where someone thought they could push up on me, and I had to, exert my voice and let them know this isn't. Mm-mm. See, I've had a lot of wounding concerning men, but what I realized the test was happening was that I was being tested in the aspect if they can't have what they want, there is going to be a certain punishing energy to it. First and foremost, I say all that to say, collective, that you are also going through your test. Let me make it very clear that I made it clear to both those individuals my voice, my stance, and how I'm respecting myself and where my nervous system is at, and how I'm choosing to live and operate my life. I don't need someone in my life, period, who doesn't respect me, who cannot see me for who I am. Not the physical beauty, because I am absolutely springing with life gorgeous. But not even but. I'm aligning with people who can see my spirit and my essence in truth and what I have to give and what I have to offer. Now, your test, collective, may not be the same way, right? Because I feel like tests are specific to our wounding. See, for me, the specific wounding was that only people could be in my life or would be in my life if they could get something from me. And if they couldn't, it was a certain kind of punishing energy, or they wanted nothing to do with me. And so, bye-bye, sayonara, see you later, unapologetically, okay? And your test could be similar, they could be different in nature, but the one thing that is happening on a collective spectrum that is common for all of us right now, it's using your voice. See, there was this other dream that I had. See, because it's been going on for a while, but I feel finally comfortable to give this message and then like it's timing, right? Because we went through the whole rebirth process. And in going through the rebirth process, as beautiful as that was, I think there was a lot of expectations for things to just change and automatically guide us to an alignment of where the new consciousness or the new version, the version of ourselves that we are operating out of would just be there blooming, dancing, having a good time, living her best life, living his best life. And in reality, collective, we're not there yet. And as I said, that 1333, okay? Because a baby goes through its stages. In your consciousness, I don't believe that it's going to take years as far as like the livelihood of a child, right? But you're still going through those phases, and everyone's in their own time as well, right? You're going through infancy. Then you're going through, to baby, right? Through your toddler stages. Then you go from your toddler to a child, right? Then, pre-adolescence, and then your adolescence, right? And then, young man, young woman, and so you're developing your consciousness, right? And you're going through these stages. Those of you that I'm talking to, you're in your infancy stages, and you need softness right now. You need seclusion from people. You may be very sensitive to sound. I feel like, for me, I'm listening to music, but I'm also very much listening to hertz and frequencies. I'm allowing myself to just be in the stillness of my mind. Oh, God. There's a lot that I want to sit here and say in this message, because a lot has been revealed to me and shown to me. And I'm going to combine this message with the message I got last night as well too. So in honoring your consciousness, you're being aware of what's in your energetic field. So you could be having visual experiences. And again, this rebirth, I do feel like it's affecting the throat, and I feel like it's affecting the third eye. Because again, the download that spirit gave me, a baby can only see, blurry unless you're, up in its face. And this process usually takes a couple months. And I'm hearing from spirit, it's the same. You're going through, your nervous system is getting comfortable in what's about to open up for you. So, and especially opening up your third eye to really see more, get comfortable in that, because in the fact that it's going to take months, a couple months, because your consciousness is still in a very sensitive space. So you can see things, but not the full picture just yet. And that's a gift that's also being aligned for you collective, because a lot of people are going through reawakenings in really beautiful and deep ways. Now, in this consciousness blooming and us honoring our voice, we're being aware of how things can try to manipulate situations and trick us into saying not now. So think of like this thought that comes in, and for you it may be random, but on deep levels of the consciousness, your team may be talking to different levels of yourself. And you could be saying not today, right? But the thought that came to your conscious mind was, oh, this person's going to try to mess with me today, right? And I'm using examples of kind of what I've experienced in the shelter or thoughts that have come through, and I'll be like, oh, not today. And then I'm using wisdom though and saying, oh, inserting the person's name does not have access to me today. This person will not mess with me today. So asserting my will, we have to be so consciously aware of what's happening, because the baby consciousness or the infancy consciousness that we're in right now in this rebirth, okay, is birthing the ideal version of self. But the child is also becoming aware of its surroundings, what it likes, what it doesn't like. And as the child becomes more aware of its surroundings, it starts to use its voice, it starts to try to take, what it desires. And oppositional energies are ridiculous and nuts, period. And they don't know when to stop. So it's up to you to put a stop to the noise. It's up to you to put a stop to the trickery and align with what is true and what is real in your life, right? And so this is the conscious awareness of understanding the depths of self, the depths of something trying to whisper in your environment, and it can play out as you replaying a certain conversation in your mind, and your guardians or your team is trying to access something for you, trying to open the door for you to access another level. And because you are saying he or she or they or this is not going to mess with me today, no, put a name to it and make it very clear, because now you're not just saying, oh, anything can come up into this space. You can sit here and say, oh, guess what? Degradation is not going to access me today. You're not going to say, oh, that isn't going to access me today. And when you say, oh, degradation can't access me today, you are directing that course. You are co-creating with the creator. This is all about, at the end of the day, honoring our voice. But it doesn't just play out in the aspects of these tests that are happening with people that are living the same human experience with you. Well, not living the same human experience, but living in the same world. Okay? This is playing out also in your mind. Are you home enough on a conscious and mental level to sit here and say, as an example, oh, James cannot call me today? I don't know, James. I'm just using that as an example. Oh, I don't want to speak with Teresa today. Instead of, oh, I don't want to speak today. Not today. I don't want to speak to her. Because you could be saying, I don't want to speak to her. But it could be, you could be rejecting a conversation with an ancestral sacred mother, an elder that's trying to come to you. But all of a sudden, something tried to plot in your head, this lady Teresa, that may be a sweet old lady, but she got her stuff with her. And so now you blocked the ancestral sacred mother from coming to you. You see how this works? So you want to start having this awareness and putting a name to it. And not necessarily just with names, right? When it's not directed to like a kind of person or, maybe let's say a behavior. Oh, I'm not going to do that today. Or I'm not, no, I don't mess with that. Say, you know what? No, I'm not operating out of jealousy. I am not jealous, right? Because these things try to mess with you in different kind of ways, and the way that we've been programmed to even speak in society has been a way to trick people. The meanings of words are so important. There was this particular gentleman, right, who felt the need when I was in the shelter to speak to me and introduce himself. And, I'm not really trying to talk to people because there's a lot of toxicity there. And so he said hello, introduced himself. I don't even remember this man's name. Next day, he's like, hello, my friend. And I'm like, sir, I'm not your friend. So I got fed up. Because the importance of words, someone trying to say that they're a friend, they're trying to attach spiritually, okay? First of all, no one needs to be attached to your energetic field, plain and simple. So I tell him, I go up to him when he, the last time he called me friend, and I said, listen, I said, you can speak if you feel the need to. I said, but do not call me your friend. I said, words are important to me and they mean a lot. He's like, oh, no, I didn't mean anything by it. Now, mind you, from his human consciousness, he genuinely may not have meant anything by it. I am aware of the way I operate and the way that I see things, and the gift of the vision that has been given to me and these insights that have been given to me, that not everyone is on the same level of insights, right? Everyone is on their own individual journey. I say all that to say that, however, whatever spirit was operating through him was very much aware of what it was doing. And as I said that, it was 2333, okay? See, a lot of you give people grace because they may not know from the human consciousness. I move with a balanced energy within. Not necessarily that I'm giving people grace. I stay to myself. I don't allow things to really interact with my field where I'm even having to give someone grace, because I don't put myself in that position in the first place. With that being stated, you have to understand that even if the human consciousness is not aware, something that is operating through it is aware. Through that individual is aware, okay? And sometimes you have to use your voice to make it very clear to that spirit that is operating through this individual that you are not the one to play with, that they are not going to feed off of you, that they are not going to attach to you. This man has not spoken to me ever since, and I have no problem with that at all. Now, was I rude about it? Absolutely not. Was his feelings hurt? More than likely, because clearly he hasn't spoken to me since then. And that's okay. It's not, see, it's not you being rude when you're using your voice. People have been programmed in society to think that they have access to your time, that if they text you, you got to respond right away, that they have access to be in your presence. Absolutely not. And collective, you are in such an infancy stage with this rebirth that has happened that you have to be selective of where you allow your energy to be, what is allowed to enter into your energetic field, collective. Your nervous system may have been so fried that it was on edge that you needed a nervous system reset. I'm telling you, I had a nervous system reset, and now the experiences that I'm having with spirit are not as jarring to my nervous system. I can actively hold more light because of this reset that has happened. And there's some of you that also need to learn how to reset your system, your nervous system, in order to have more experiences with spirit, okay? And I say all that to say that there's wisdom in using discernment and saying, you know what, I can't hang out with you because this is too heavy. Or if I'm going to hang out with you because if there's some heart affinity, and the person really does have a good heart and soul, then these are the structures that I'm setting up for myself. I can't be around you if you're doing this. I can't be around you if you're being, negative Nancy, or angry Bill. I can't handle this at this particular point in time. And if they love you and truly value you in their life, they will respect that. If they don't, then maybe you don't need to be around them. Not now and not ever. And I say that because it's not that some of you don't have good friendships. And if you do, it's very little friendships. I don't feel like you have many people in your life. But if they're not at the same level of growth that you are in, and if they can't respect where you are at in your journey, then they don't need to be in your life. And it's okay to move away. It's okay to sit here and say, this is unhealthy for me. You're unhealthy for me in this season of my life. And I have love for you. And may your journey bring you closer to the Creator. But I cannot hold your heaviness for you because the heaviness that I had, I worked years to clear this out. I worked years to come to this point of my rebirth. That I can no longer just jeopardize this by allowing anyone into my energetic field, into my energetic space, unless you are safe. And some people are not safe because they are so heavy with their own trauma. So heavy, even if they're doing the work, you're not at the same level. And be grateful that they're doing the work. It's absolutely beautiful when other people in the collective, are also doing the work, but they're in tune to, whatever collective they're in tune into. You're in a standpoint where everything that is coming into your energetic field has to be soft, has to be clean, has to be pure. And I say that not from a purist consciousness, but when a child is born, okay, outside of, the rituals that they do, outside, in the hospitals and because all of that that's not how a child really should be treated, with all types of injections and immunizations that, with much respect, have the number one agent for childhood cancers, okay? I'm not talking about all that. A child, you want the natural elements and products, right? Like the lotions, the soft ones. But it's like, okay, lavender may be too harsh for the skin, right? So you're in a season where it's purity, like it's the softness that you're willing to engage with. And in this standpoint, as you grow, you now have the wisdom of the adult consciousness, but with the baby, the rebirth, the new consciousness. So now you, with the divine mother, are guiding your life and your path to what you will allow in it as you continue to grow. And I'm going to be honest for you, for me, I'm not allowing much into my spirit. And as I said, that 30-33, because there's so much that tries to pollute you, to pollute the body. Right now, all I'm eating is fruits and vegetables, water, coconut water, soursop juice. That's all natural. I use native lotion, body wash, Hello toothpaste, native deodorant. I'm using Head and Shoulders, but the bare Head and Shoulders for my scalp when I wash my hair. And the reason why I'm covering up now is because the only one that has access to see me uncovered is my divine masculine. Okay, anyways, moving on. There's a certain way that I'm choosing to carry myself. And in this season of your life, you may be also exploring how you're going to carry yourself. I'm not saying that you have to give up meat and, animal products. This is what's being put on my heart, on my soul. But understand that if you're inviting those things into your body, into your vessel, then you're allowing parasites to be there. Processed foods is too heavy. I want to feel light. I don't want to feel full and stuffed and I have the itis and I need to go take a nap. I need to take a nap when I'm tired because I'm in my empathy consciousness and, my rebirth is, I need my naps. But diet is important for me. I use a diet as an example that the friendships that you are having, the relationships that you are having, which you are watching, which you are listening to, are you willing to allow this into the consciousness that has been reborn? See, you are making crucial decisions for the future, for the ideal you. For me, yeah, I miss warming foods, and it's not to sit here and say that I'll never have some rice and beans again, but that'll be a treat. Give me a mango instead. Give me some avocados with some salt on there. Give me some celery. Give me, with some homemade, avocado crema that's made with cashews. Okay, give me some coconut milk. I want to be in a very pure state because I've gone through a lot in my life and I understand what it's like when you have parasitic energies just pummeling you and pummeling you on over, and what it takes to come into your divine consciousness. And as I said, that 33, I'm not just going through this for me. And so I feel like I'm being held to a bigger standard, a deeper standard. This is my own journey and how the Creator is expressing itself uniquely through me. And what's been placed on my heart, because I know that I have this divine calling on my life to help others, okay, in their rebirth process, in letting go of the degradation and bringing in more light and dealing with the dark nights of their souls, okay, also as they allow themselves to be so present in the moment that they allow their nervous system to have a break. Everything that I'm experiencing is for, yes, the conscious growth of myself, but also for those that I'm meant to touch and those that I'm meant to reach, that I'm meant to work with one-on-one. I feel like I could sum up the spiritual journey very quickly, and break it down, but in all reality, there's phases to it and it's very complicated, okay? And as much as I can make it simplified, it still takes years. And how does someone practice, you know, uh, holistic practices? Practices that are rooted in ancient practices and tribal times and rooted in divinity to now restart their consciousness, or restart their nervous system. Reset is the word I'm looking for. Reset their nervous system and allow the ideal version of themselves to be birthed. Collective, be unapologetically yourself, and also understand that certain energies, because Spirit has been working with me, because, being in the shelter, I'll tell you. Oh, you get tested. And Spirit is like, listen, we know that you're learning to use your throat chakra. And I'll be like, yes, divine, I am. And they'll be like, but, that dirty person being dirty, they're going to be dirty regardless. But you don't need to entertain it. And when I say entertain it is basically say anything about it, because parasites, people who are so in degradation, regardless of your environment where you're at, they don't have access to you. They can't access to you. And they don't even deserve your attention. It's like they don't exist in your reality. And as I said, that it's 36, that comes out to 99. Baby, goodbye. Bye. And but you can still voice your, like for me, I can file complaints. Hey, this is hazardous to people's health. This environment can, cultivate parasites, and I have to live here. Oh, someone's being nosy, or not nosy, cancel that statement. Someone is being, loud during quiet hours, that's disturbed somebody's mental health. It's disturbing my spiritual health. So I can, file the complaints with the correct authorities. And for you, many of you, the correct authorities is the divine. That's for me too. I'll be talking to God. I'll be on the hotline with the Creator, like, Creator, this can't happen no more. I'm shedding tears. I cannot take this no more. And the Creator answers, and the Creator comes through, because you are honoring your voice. Tell the Creator what you desire, not from a desire of a standpoint of, I want a mansion, and I want, a Bugatti, and I want a Mercedes for my day car, no, in essence, what do you want? For me, I wanted my voice to be heard. I wanted to be seen. And the first person that needs to see me and acknowledge me and hear my voice is me. Then the rest can do it, And I'm setting that precedence, I'm validating me. And now it's like, okay, well, now that I'm doing that, well, Creator, I need my solo space. I need stability. I need parasites to not be around, My journey has led me, from having stability to relying on the Creator. And I've been provided for every single step of the way. And to be honest with you, it has been scary, this journey, the things that I faced, but I've never been left alone. I've never been deserted. And now more than ever, I feel seen. I feel heard. I feel validated. I feel appreciated. Collective, you are also going through this. See, collective, your life may seem like you're lonely, but in reality, you're learning to fall in love with you and the Divine Mother as you're being protected by the Divine Father. And right now, your circle needs to be small. Right now, it's okay for it just to be you and the divine mother and father that watch over you, that protect you. You have your guardians. Collective. I don't know how else to say that you are in such a miracle season of your life and you are magnetic. But right now, I'm going to be honest with you, collective. The things that you think you want, like for me, it was like, oh, I know I'm this beautiful divine being that is meant to help whoever I'm meant to reach. It felt like the world, to be honest with you, on their healing journey and help them navigate this. I know that I'm not ready at this point, and not because I'm not good at what I do. I am excellent at what I do. I am amazing at what I do, collective. As I'm sure you are amazing at what you do. I say all that to say that your consciousness is in such a sensitive space that you are not ready to pick up the heaviness of others. And I don't even want to say pick up, so I'm going to cancel that statement. Even engage with others at this point, because you are learning to build your strength in this particular season of your life, collective. So now when you are engaging and offering the services and putting yourself out there with what you offer and what you're meant to do in the collective, you have the strength, you have the stamina to keep up with it, to do it. And so I am absolutely amazing at what I do. There is no doubt in me that I'm meant to be doing what the Creator has placed on me, and it is the healing services, it is the readings, it is, the coaching, the spiritual coaching, relationship coaching, life coaching, all these beautiful stuff, but am I in a place specifically where I want to do it right now? No. For myself, yeah, always. For the eternity of my soul. Okay? Collective, when it's time, I'll know. I've honestly jumped off of YouTube. I'm still uploading, but not as much because, it's a season for me. Unapologetically, but there's just these beautiful messages that come through that there's no way that I can't share it. I want to share it. And so when it's time, I don't know. I have business cards. I don't even want to give out my business cards. I got flyers. I don't even want to post the flyers. Man, whatever's meant to find me better land on my lap. All right, I'm busy. I'm busy honoring me. I'm busy falling in love with my voice. Staring at myself in the mirror, and not from a conceited standpoint, but literally falling in love with my eyes. I never used to see myself as beautiful, collective, and now I do. I am the most beautiful woman to have ever existed, not from a physical standpoint. Even though, yes, I feel that as well too, because I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm the most beautiful woman to exist because I know the depths of my heart and soul, and that I've gotten to know thus far, and I'm going to continue to explore them. And you too can also be the most beautiful gender that you're born in to ever exist if you do the work to really flow with your heart lighter than a feather, with the purity of divinity and living in that energy. When you see the beauty in self, it never has to be a competition with another. So, collective, listen to your hearts, drink your water, eat your fruits and vegetables, ground. Nature is very healing for you at this particular point in time. soft colors, pastel coloring. I don't, you know, I'm not even gonna say coloring. I just feel like looking at pretty images um, is where we're at. You know, I don't feel like we're in the, oh, let me create, let me, color stage just yet. I don't feel like we're there. You might be drawn to, decorating, sprucing your area up with like crystals, wallpapers that are nice, colors that are soft. Um, you may be drawn to those type of things. Because for me, I am. Like, look at my headphones. They're pink, okay? Now, in the shelter, they were doing manicures yesterday. I did this myself. Thank you very much. But I was like, I wanted baby blue. I don't know if it was because we was homeless or whatever. It was not a good job, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not okay walking around like this. Um, but I wasn't. It was patchy, and it was all over. The color was all over. Like a, a 5-year-old could have did a better job. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm really not. I'm just saying that I wasn't happy with it. And so I was like, I'm taking it off. But the point is, I was drawn to the baby blue. And so blue is, baby blue, baby pink. These are the colors that I'm drawn to. This is probably like the softest blue that I have, in my wardrobe, but I'm being just drawn to the softer colors in life. And I feel like collective, you are being drawn to softer colors as well too. And I'm getting neutral for some of you. So some of you may be getting, for me, it's the baby blue and the baby pink, because I feel like for me, that's something very significant to like becoming balanced within the divine feminine, the divine masculine. And I've been feeling it, but like again, that consciousness is growing in unison together. And that's something deeper for myself. But I feel like some of you may be drawn to like a pastel yellow, a pastel greens, even like, yeah, I feel like neutral colors, right? So um I feel like that's what's, happening. And I feel like the pastel yellow and the green is speaking to like nature, the sun, and this is what it's representing. This is what's blossoming, it's like the heart chakras, growing. The solar plexus is expanding. You're allowing yourself to be blessed by the sun. I know that I'm being so drawn to the sun, and what sucks about where I'm at is that it's been like cloudy overhead days. And it's like, oh my God, I just want the sun to bless me. So I say all that to say, collective, beautiful timing, beautiful moments ahead. Allow yourself to honor your voice, because you are the only one that can honor your voice in connection with the divine. Take care from me in spirit.